Okay, so I just captured images of what is group stalking, that you're in federal group stalking and monitoring while being subject to it in the workplace. And you're capturing what is the terrorizing environment that's serving that criminal system, and the you are actually being targeted by those that you work with. That's in and of itself is terrorism, okay? And that is a high level of malice, which is that malice is terrorizing. The fact that you rely on your job and you're going and the people that you work with, and then the entity is assuming position all around you and presence around you while you're in that environment, and the outer guise of that is which is to threaten the target individual that they're working. Okay. And all of this is under, again, this is all assuming that you remain ignorant about the environment that these third parties who are working for a third party company, speaker companies, is a malicious form for what is presence. It's a company that is facilitating the state's criminal system. I have literally captured state terrorism sponsored by speaker companies, owner Todd Speaker. I mean, that's not a coincidence either. You don't have employees, you don't have a property that just so happens to be ignorantly the grounds upon which and the people through whom that system is underway. I am literally piercing through the veil of what is a concealed matter, a concealed system of what is federal group stalking and monitoring. And these are the levels of malice that I'm piling through so that you understand. And then I also want you to put yourself in the place of the target individual who is overwhelmed, who is threatened, who is terrorized, who's scared, who also needs their job, and who also is likely confused about what's happening. Knowing that it's weird, you'll probably have a gut instinct, this is weird, and that weirdness is scary. And that's going to be translated to terrorism. And this is occurring in the workplace. And so you have what is the demon possessed, the demonic environment, the criminal system in operation at the workplace. And so what you saw was Carlo Lopez. Carlo Lopez is an elderly, I don't want to say gentleman, but because I am a professional, I will go ahead and provide that terminology to him. But this is a demon. This is a psychopath. This is a sex offender. I mean, I'm not going to mince words. This is based on what he's doing, what he's participating, what he's facilitating. All right. But I want to be clear. This is an older gentleman who's going to sit in federal prison. And so while he is walking into the office, into what is a door. This is a door, okay? And there's a cover, the doorway has a covering over the outside of it also. And also common sense with regard to the way that sunlight works and the position of the sun and how sunlight is, where sunlight is coming from, the sun. It's coming down at a downward trajectory. It's not shooting like at an angle, like bouncing off of walls and shooting underneath covered walkways and coating all over. No, that's engineered light. And so what you see while Carlo is in the name of speaker companies, talking about the business of speaker companies. Speaker companies is a third party group stalker, and Carlo Lopez is a third party group stalker. And through that system of federal group stalking and monitoring, it is underway, and the malicious guise is the operation of a business in the state of California. This is how the public entity is monitoring American citizens. It's in every aspect of their life. And so while I'm sitting here, you see me capturing images of what is absolutely, clown-like light activity. Not only is it coming underneath, the fact that it's appearing on the inside at any location, let alone, as I've shown you, piercing through the crack in the door, okay? So the light is piercing. I'm not laughing because it's so idiotic, but this is what the entity does, and I'm showing you all the ways, and I'm going to prosecute what were just nothing other than just plain stupidity. But that stupidity is translated as what is obsession. Okay, this is an obsessive pursuit with light. And I want to be clear, this is an entity that's monitoring me. They use the phone as a means of monitoring, and they're listening to what I'm documenting right now. And HD Supply is a third-party group stalker. The entity is engaging in what is the piercing through underneath a covered structure into a doorway where the sun is above us at a heightened elevation, by the way, not hovering like you see it over 1810, hovering right over the roof. Okay, this is the light source. This is where the light source is. That's not the sun. Okay. Also, you see it hovering, remaining over the address all day long. From 6:30 a.m. it's in alignment to me, and it stays here in alignment to me after 5 p.m. That's not the sun. And then you also know that it's not the sun because it's in a totally different documented place, which is the Upland Public Library. Okay. And this is just some of the examples that I gave you today. The Upland Public Library, the entity kept that light source, and you can refer to that documentation on April 18, 2022, because at 5 p.m. where I remained at that address, which is speaking to the very specific placement of that light source, because I'm looking at it through the roof of the Upland Public Library, the same address where I was at in the morning before 10 o'clock when it was present over that venue. And I captured it in the morning through the roof, and I captured it in that same evening after 5 p.m., 5:01 p.m., which I've already captured the placement of of the light source in alignment with the entrance of this leasing office. And at that location, you are not able to see any sun through the roof of the Upland Public Library as I'm looking at it outside of the doors of this leasing office. That is what is the mutually exclusive placement of the light source. But like I said, if that was the sun, this is how the analysis goes. If that's the sun, then there would also, that's also speaking to what's not possibly sunlight, besides the asinine placement of light into, that is light that's supposedly coming down, sunlight which is coming down, but it's coming through a door, spreading across into the depths of the office, which is what you see the entity doing with sunlight through my window in the morning. This is absolutely idiotic. It's totally unintelligent. And then this is the straight face that a demon-possessed group stalking minion of his old age, and he should be ashamed of himself for many reasons, okay? But ashamed of himself while he stands there with a straight face, and I have already carved down the idiocy of this entire system. And he stands there, and let me be clear, the fact that he stands there, that's why he's going to sit in federal prison. And he's going to sit in federal prison and age even more. All right, but I want to be clear. He's standing there in that direct evidence, which is serving for his prosecution, is the prosecution of the people, because that idiot that's standing there in that direct evidence, that's going toward the malice of the whole entity. It's equal to the threat that the Los Angeles Police Department posed when they are obsessively stalking in helicopter. All right, surrounded by evidence of what is none other than stalking in a very specific environment. It's a phenomenon, and you are documented engaging in the same identical conduct as your predecessors who have already been exposed as well. This is the body of evidence that they're also monitoring, because they're documenting me while I continuously capture the pattern of conduct where the case is already complete. That is the same level of threat that the people of the state pose, and doing it through under the guise of what is a company name. Speaker Companies is not going to survive civil prosecution either. All right, you're going to drain the pockets, and that's a matter. That's necessary. That's great. That's a matter of justice. To be frank with you, they don't deserve to survive. They deserve to be exposed, and they deserve that criminal prosecution. But I want to be clear. That's what you're looking at. It's absolutely impossible light. It's impossible. It's demonic. This is terrorism in the workplace. It's harassment. But I want to be clear. It's not by Carla Lopez. Carla Lopez represents the entity. The Speaker Companies represents the entity. All right. Understand the shoes that they're in the shoes of the state when you're understanding what federal group stalking and monitoring, when the venue is established, where the pattern of conduct is underway. So the state is standing here in the doorway, identifying itself as Speaker Companies, talking to me about the business of Speaker Companies. Everything that they're saying and doing is activity creation under the light source and in engineered light in my office, threatening my life, my physical safety, and overall well-being, while the entity is keeping the light source over the roof of the Upland Public Library, where it remains to this way. This is where you would never see the light source at Alvarado Gardens, where it's remaining over the roof for the duration of the day at the Upland Public Library. You know that because I captured it at 9:08 in the morning, and then I captured it again at the end of the day, where I remain at the Upland Public Library on April 18, 2022 at 5:01 p.m. You also know that this is not the sun, because this same very building, 810 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California, is the exact same building where it's here at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're talking about right now it's 2:47, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours later, and it's on the opposite side of the same building. That's not the sun. All right, nor is there any sunlight that's shooting down like a laser underneath structures. This is engineered light, and this is also why you see my shadow that's appearing here, and you see it here. All right, appearing multiple layers of shadows, and you see light that's shooting like a laser into the depth. No, that's the engineered light, and this is a demon that's watching me prosecute him. That's Carla Lopez. He's going to federal prison. All right, and he's group stalking now. That all of that malice, all of that's going to be used against them. 9CYE741. This is demonic pacing. They're in engineered light under what is not possibly the sun. This is group stalking and demonic activity. P.O.C. He's going to federal prison. He's going to federal prison. He likes to monitor with children. He's going to federal prison as well. The entities, I want to be clear, all of them are here at Alvarado Gardens monitoring with the LAPD that is incessantly group stalking by helicopter all day long. Alvarado Gardens, a lot of these, they're going to federal prison. Okay, you have a lot of people that are going to be put away. So anyway, I'm just speaking to the asinity. Not only is that not the sun, but this isn't even sunlight. That's never going to happen. Even as you look at what is a hovering light source, that's not the sun. This building would be set on fire. And it's also impossible because the sun is remaining over the Upland Public Library, visible through the roof. The sun is remaining over the Ovid Family Community Library. I've documented all these venues. That is nowhere near similar to, capable of being seen in any sky space, let alone beside adjacent to building 1810, such that any light is even present whatsoever. Not only would it not be present, but there's never under any circumstances going to be any light that's appearing into the depths. But you already know what this is, and this is why there's multiple shadows here. That's why you have what is the maintenance of a pattern of the maintenance of what is engineered magnified light. All right, and this represents malice. This is why Todd Speaker is going to be criminally prosecuted. Okay, this is serving for what is. It's not just Todd Speaker, Speaker companies. All of those employees of that company, I have identified a company that's engaged in the state's conspiracy of federal group stalking and monitoring, and I uploaded a picture of many of their names, whether they're still currently employees or not. Those are third-party group stalkers. That's just giving you documenting, doing my own due diligence, documenting many of the names of those who are currently in Palo Alto, criminally facilitating. By virtue of their company, Speaker Companies owns many properties in California. Manages many properties in California. Todd Speaker owns many properties in California, and the state of California is monitoring. Federal, I'm blowing a whistle because they're monitoring in the state of California. Todd Speaker is a group stalker. You've seen exactly what they're doing. They're monitoring American citizens. And I want to be clear, this property here, they're monitoring. It's not exclusive to Alvarado Gardens. You already know that because what's going on at the Upland Public Library is not going on with regard to the natural environment here at Alvarado Gardens. And you also know because hours from now at 5, and so what have you seen? You're looking at from 6:30 in the morning, it's over here, but we can even isolate that. You can take that away because under all circumstances, the entity loses. You're talking about what is here, 8 o'clock to what is 5 p.m. This is what the entity is doing over me all day long, rising it in alignment with me and setting it in alignment with me. All right, this is the pattern of conduct of stalking with a light source and stalking with engineered light for purposes of criminal monitoring. And that's why Jose and Sons, his license plate is already documented. This is ongoing criminal facilitation. Group stalking by spectrum, maintaining presence at the specific environment, going to federal prison, P.O.C. 6FFJ116, present in relevant position, group stalking. This is an Asian female who came to my office posing a threat to my life, directed light all over the table. That's a threat while they are present in the environment, representing the state. Understand how you're going to legally analyze everything that the people of the state are doing on behalf of the state. Okay, so I want to be clear on that. She's here in relevant position and she's group stalking, threatening my life the other day as I documented her, and the LAPD immediately starts stalking by helicopter. So this entity that's threatening my life then comes again and repeats that. So that's how you're going to analyze that. 76179G2 is creating facilitating activity. This demon is creating light activity while that amplified audible activity continues. There's no parking here. This is pacing. This is P.O.C. Directed light across the vehicle while he crosses path. That's a demon. That's impossible light activity. License plate. Oh, it's hidden. It's hidden. That's hilarious. He comes in with a typewritten little license plate. Let's go get closer. It looks like Sam 178982. Hi. I'm sorry, I can't hear over your accent. What was that?
Huh?
What was it? I can't understand what you're saying.
Building 1814.
1814?
Yes.
It's over there.
Yeah?
Yeah, over there. This is light activity, relevant positioning. Go ahead and close the door. He's out of this country. Cannot in my country monitoring me. Okay, he's out of here. And the entity is providing what you're not hiding your identity. You're not avoiding anything. Hi, this is the entity. That's P.O.C. There's so much that I could say right now, but I'm going to keep it professional. This is the pattern of conduct. This is the maintenance of a light source. There is no sun over the Upland Public Library. That was the pattern of conduct that I documented. And like I told them in Upland, they're going to federal prison. And so is the Upland Police Department that engaged in kidnapping, a documented criminal act. It is currently, by the way, 2:52 p.m. P.O.C.